everyone, just a short video to show you that I've started working on the interior. I just separated and cleaned up the photo etch for this, and it's primered. I'm going to let it dry for a few hours, and then it'll get its black coat. I still haven't fixed the resin. I haven't got the resin ground down for applying this yet, so there's still some other steps. The pilot is primered as well, okay? He is going to get his first color coat tonight. So, starting on the interior, that means that exterior photo etch is done. Alright, back in the line. Alright everyone, I'm not counting this as a day because, well, maybe I should. What day number would this be? Day number 8. I've only got about 35-40 minutes to work on it. I'm starting on the interior because I have almost all the photo etch done on the exterior. Okay, well, I do have all the photo etch done on the exterior. You guys have already seen that. This part fits, and I've got this out so I can look at it. And I'm going handheld with the big camera today. When I say big camera, this thing weighs a couple of pounds, more like about 4. This part fits in there. This was the resin copy I made, and this has been sanded on and worked on. It won't fit. So I had to take them and get them to match this part. They're a little bit bigger. The interiors are precisely the same. This part fits inside there like a puzzle piece. And if you look at them, they are almost the exact same thickness, the two pieces. They fit in there beautifully now, and they've already been sanded smooth on the bottom edges, so I can glue them in. And this is rough because I'm hand holding. But they'll glue in there just fine, and that's what I wanted to see. They'll fit in there, and that will spin around unless we glue it down. So I'm happy with that. I got these interior parts done. They're going to get red painted as soon as they're cured a bit. Okay? Over here at the spray booth, I've done some work in the spray booth. I have primered the pilot and the interior panels. They're going to get black painted today. So I got some painting to do. The pilot's going to get a blackish gray coat. Black with a tiny bit of white in it. You'll see why I'm doing that in a little bit. And these guys are going to get their black coat, flat black. Okay? And the chrome, the interior parts over here are going to get a transparent red on the back sides of them. As soon as they're dry. That way I can start gluing these guys down and seeing what I'm getting in the end. And I can start painting that pilot. Because I'm starting to work on the interior now. Once the prep work is moving along very well. Okay? Now, I'm going to turn the camera towards me, and this is handheld. So get your headache glasses ready. Because we can spin around the room and you can see how empty my model room has become. Very empty. Okay, if the Mercury 9's still there. Working with resin, take precautions if you're sanding it. Okay? Because I've been told that the resin dust is very carcinogenic, and you don't want that in your lungs. I was wearing this while I was sanding. This I found in the paint department. They have, and you can see there's dust on it. I'm going to go clean it a little bit better. They have different filter inserts that can go in there. I forgot what this one says, but they have ratings on them. Okay? I was using a Dremel to sand with 80 grit sandpaper, so the dust particles were not small. That's stopping them. And it's got adjustment around the neck and across the top of the head, so it holds down real tight. So make sure you get proper stuff. For final sanding, I was using, and I'm going to turn the camera around, wet dry sandpaper. You can see it's still drying. The reason I use a wet dry sandpaper and sand wet, this is my box of, yes, Chick-fil-A. This is my box of paints for the TIE Fighter. The reason I use wet sanding is the water traps the dust and the dust doesn't get out and get around the house. Again, you don't want to breathe that dust. I've got cats. I've got a small daughter. I've got a wife. We don't want this stuff floating around for everyone to breathe. Okay? Now, one thing I could do is I have a big old paint booth. I could sand in the paint booth with the paint booth running. That will trap the dust very well because that thing moves 250 cubic feet of air per minute. That'll trap the dust real well. That's not a problem. Okay? So I could do that, and I know more than one person's doing that or planning on building a booth big enough to do that with. Not me. I wet sand or go outside. I had the Dremel outside today to reduce those parts because they started off big, thick, and beefy like this. Okay, that was cast number 2. Here was cast number 1. It's still big and beefy. Okay, cast number 3 only got halfway done because I screwed up and collapsed one of the sides down real bad. Cast 4, look at that thing. It looks like a chip for dipping. A Frito. So, I took it outside, did it outside. That way the dust is not in the house. It was a nice day today. Anyhow, that's going to end day 8. I am going to go eat some dinner. I may come back and paint this tonight. I may wait till tomorrow. But they're going to get painted the next day or two because I want to get the interior done. I want to get to the LEDs. I'm going to try to light this thing with 2 LEDs only, but I think I might have to have 3. Okay? Well, 3 LEDs is not much. It's not a big model, though. X-Wing is going to have more, like 5, 6. Yeah, because R2 needs his own LED. You guys will see why when we get to it. But anyhow, I am going to go. I'm going to go get some food. Just want to let you guys see what I'm up to, and that's the end of day 8. Sorry it was short and I didn't show you it on camera, but watching me with a Dremel throw dust everywhere, I didn't know if that would be exciting. All right, talk to you guys later. Hello, everyone. You can hear the paved booth running in the background. The photo etch parts have had a primer coat, flat black, and then a coat of flat clear. The flat black is Tamiya, the primer's Tamiya, the clear is Alclad. I love the Alclad lacquer clears. They dry super fast. That's probably dry, and I painted it in less than 5 minutes ago. In addition, they don't scratch easy. I mean, they just got a lot of good properties. The thing is, you better have an airbrush and you better have really good ventilation if you're going to use them. This has 3 coats of Tamiya Clear Red on it, and that's about as red as I'm going to get them. I know they look orange under really bright light. And you can still see my sanding marks, well, dremeling marks, because I got dremeled pretty heavily. I think it'll be fine. If it looks too reddish, I'll get a red gel filter out. Someone a long time ago sent me some gel filters, and I bought some off eBay. So if I have to, I'll get a red gel filter out and put it between the LED and that, because I plan on using a white LED to illuminate those with, because the white LEDs are brighter, they put out more light. Higher voltage, but more light. So I want this to glow. The Pilot, he's been flat blacked, clear coated. I changed my mind on how I'm dealing with him. Up next is detail painting. The helmet's going to be glossed. His eyelids are going to be glossed. And some banding on there. I'm going to do some detail painting on him probably this weekend, because I have a couple hours free on Saturday to come up here and work. Anyhow, just want to let you guys know where we're at. All right, everyone, I got a bit of time. I'm going to assemble these parts to the recently made resin parts. Okay? They're a little bit thicker than the original part, but that's because I shaped them with a Dremel tool sitting in the backyard. And I'm going to get the order right. Here's the order of them, so I'm going to lay them out on here so I know which part's which. And the directions show me which one goes where forward. Okay? So I'm going to have to mark the back of those panels when I get them done so I know which part's which. I'm going to also glue these parts on, these photo etch parts on with micro crystal clear instead of super glue, because something just bugs me about gluing it on there with super glue. So I'm not going to. All right, the parts are in their case over here. They've been painted, you can tell that. Some of them have had some bending, some have not. I'm going to get some bending on them and get going on this. I'll come back in a little bit and show you the end result. Okay. All right, I got them glued up. There's some light leaks along the seam in the center of both of them, but this is the second one I did. It's obviously better than the first one because, well, practice makes perfect. A couple of things. The resin weakens with the super glue, and as I was putting them together, I could feel this resin stretching. That didn't make me happy. So I was using this as a form and pressing it around this. The paint chipped a little bit on the first one too because I overworked it a bit. Again, it's the first one. So I'm going to have to touch up the paint. You can see a piece of brass right there. So I'm going to touch up the paint and fix the light leaks, but we get overexposure. So I'm going to have to watch the lighting on this and make sure it's not too intense. I might end up using red LEDs after all, just simply because I don't want to overdo it a little bit. But you can see by looking at the camera, I did achieve what I wanted. That's clear, that's red. So we're good to go on this one. I'm working on the rest of the interior. I got to drill some holes in this guy because there's two little lights in him. I'm working on painting the pilot right now. He's just one solid color. That's why I'm not showing you. You've already seen that in an earlier clip. I'm going to let those cure for an hour or two before I touch them. And then I'm going to touch up that paint with a brush. Now, the way I assembled them is I took a Q-tip, painted it on with some super glue. I actually used the Gorilla super glue I've been using. And I just painted it on and waited a little bit. And then pushed the parts down in place. They're there. They're not going anywhere. Okay? So just a little bit of touching up where the brass flaked. And then I can build some light boxes for my LEDs and see what happens. Because the light boxes have to sit inside here. And they have to go up in the arms just a little bit to get them to light properly. Okay? So we're good to go on this one. I'll be back in a bit.